Hey guys, welcome back. So today I have my Zuri Design Team project. I'm creating 3 ATCs. These are the Zuri Design stamps created by IndigoBlu. This one is the owl tails. They are red rubber stamps that IndigoBlu had created using Zuri Designs. This is the Enchanted Castle. And these stamps are amazing. If you guys know about IndigoBlu stamps, their stamps are fabulous. This is the ornate elephant, and it comes with a couple of sentiments and a couple extra stamps. And they are huge, like they're massive. They're the size, like bigger than my hands. So I'm going to create a couple ATCs. I'm using this Strathmore, I think, watercolor paper, ATC watercolor paper, and then I'm using Lindy's, Stamp Gang, Nuneka's, Outer Space, Magicals. And I'm going to start with Alien Goo Green and UFO Yellow. And it's a little bit longer video than I'm usually used to making, but I wanted to keep a lot of the process in there. So I'm playing around. I'm just using a fan brush to sprinkle some of the magicals on and spritzing with water and going back and forth with sprinkling the magicals, spritzing water. And when it comes to magicals, I tend to go overboard and I add a lot more than is necessary. But I just have fun playing with them. And now this one, I'm going to use the Outer Space Aqua and the UFO Yellow. And this one, I'm just sprinkling the UFO Yellow diagonally down the middle and the Outer Space Aqua in the corners. And I'm going to spritz that with my water to activate the magicals and pick it up and move it around a little bit to try and move the colors around. And then dry it with my heat gun. And I did one, you can see I have the purple in the background. I did one at first and I wasn't too happy with it. I used weight, like I said, I'm super heavy-handed with my magicals. So now I'm going to do the third one with Distress Oxide sprays and Walnut Stain, Vintage Photo, and some pumice stone. And so I just threw them in my splat box, threw the ATC in my splat box, and I kind of wanted to go like with a vintage feel for this one because I'm going to do the owl stamp on this one, and I always think owl's brown, and I know like the stamp, the image on the stamp packaging is super bright and funky, but I was kind of going like nature-esque themed with this one. So I'm using the Distress Oxides and spraying that and then drying it up. And then I'm going to go in with the pumice stone and do some splatter and then spritz it with water because it got a little bit darker than I wanted. So I'm going to lighten it up some and then give it one like quick spritz up at the top to lighten that up, and then dry it with my heat tool. And then I got like a nice like grungy natural looking background. So I'm going to use my stamping platform. And okay, so I really kind of screwed this up. I used my VersaFine Onyx Black pigment ink for fine details. So these stamps, just like the Zuri molds, are super detailed. So I'm going to be doing some embossing, and I used my Stamping Buddy to get the static off of the ATC. But I didn't get this perfect impression, and I'm like thinking, what the heck did I do wrong? And then I realized that my stamping platform, I had the top fold of it on the wrong side. I had it set for clear stamps and not on the side for rubber stamps. So I figured, you know what, I'm just going to go with it. It's already on there. I'm going to make it work. So I dumped some black embossing powder on there, and I'm going to heat set it. Later on, I go back and I restamped the owl with just on some beige like cardstock and fussy cut it out and put it over top the black image there, and just pop that on there with some foam dots. But this time when I'm using the like the acorns and the leaf images, I flipped the top of the stamping platform to the correct side, and then I get a really good impression because, you know, it's on the correct side. So these I'm gonna coat with gold embossing powder, and that's what gave me the idea to do the owl over in the gold embossing powder. And you'll see after I heat emboss this, you'll see the final image of the ATC. And I do believe I went over the edges with a black marker as well. You know, I like to frame my pieces. So yeah, I just kind of fussy cut it out and popped it up with some foam tape. So it looks so much crisper with the gold, and yeah. So, okay. This one, I really should have just stayed out of my studio and not created this night. I don't know what I was thinking. So I could have sworn, and I'm looking at this stamp like 3 or 4 times. I could have sworn I had this stamp on top of the ATC straight. And I moved it, I swear, like 3 times, probably more like 30 times. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, that's stamped crooked. So, because the back part, the cling part of the stamp, you can't see the image. So when I finally put it down for the last time, I'm like, oh, that moon doesn't look like it's straight. And the moon would have been straight, but the castles were not straight up and down. It's whatevs. So I used the stamp that says Enchanted and some of the dragons. And I'm, again, just using my VersaFine Onyx Black ink because it picks up all the details. Excuse me. And this one, I'm not doing any embossing on this one. I don't think so. I think I'm just doing simple stamping. And then I'm going to drag my ink pad around the edges just to give it a frame. I thought that the Lindy's Magicals in the background, there was like enough shimmer. I didn't want to add any more shininess to it, so I kind of liked just the simple black stamping to it. So I left that one as is. So that one is the castle, even if it's lopsided. And now here comes the tricky elephant. So I wanted only, obviously an ATC is only 2.5 by 3.5 inches big. And that elephant stamp is massive. So I put the stamp on the platform first, and then I set the ATC on top, and I flipped it over upside down. And then, because I only wanted like half of the face of the elephant, and of course my magnet was underneath. Again, I'm telling you, I should have stayed out of my studio this night, but you know what? I had fun creating these. They're not perfect, and they didn't have to be perfect, but fingers crossed, I was hoping it was going to work. I had fun playing with these stamps. I had fun creating these. I haven't made ATCs in like forever. And I had a good time. So that's all that matters. I will have a link in the description box below to the stamps, where you can get them. And let's see. So if you can see on the right-hand side of the ATC, I have a big chunk of magicals, because again, I'm super heavy-handed with the magicals, and so I had to put all the pressure to get the print. You normally wouldn't have to stamp that hard, But because I had that big chunk there, I had to put all the pressure down. And then I'm just using my Onyx Black Fine Detail Embossing Powder, making sure I got all the bits covered, top off any excess, and then I'm going to heat set it. And the detail in this it's just stunning. I love that even in just such a small image, just a small piece, you can tell what it is. And it's gorgeous. So again, I'm going to go around the edges, you know, me and my having to frame all my pieces. So that's that one. So striking. Love it. IndigoBlu did an amazing job using Zuri's designs. So kudos. So these are the ATCs, and that's it, guys. Again, I will leave links down below, and thanks for watching, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye.